What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to NerdWide Podcast. It is July 4th as of this recording, so you've got this get up today, and you're just going to have to roll with it. I am going to take the glasses off because I don't want to, show everything that's on the screens and behind the
Wait a
scenes
minute.
here.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Well,
Describe the getup, because some of these
oh,
people
Doc,
don't watch
listen.
the
So
videos.
I am in a red, white, and blue flag romper with my exclusive Club Diet Coke hat and sunglasses on. Of course, this is for all the Diet Coke VIPs in the world. We got these sent out to us, and I decided to wear my little bucket hat. It doesn't really go with me. I don't look. I can pull anything off, but it's not one of my go-to
Kind of,
styles. But
kind of look like Gilligan from Gilligan's Island.
you know, to each their own. Guys, this is the NerdWide Podcast, episode 32. I'm your host, Tyler Haynes, with my main man right here beside me, Mr. Chris Rivers. Now, Chris,
What,
I'm excited about this week.
what's going on?
We've got a
I am
lot
too.
of things coming up. We've got Black Widow on Thursday. We're going to go watch that together for one of the first showings of it here in our town. And
Hmm.
we've got a lot to talk about this week as far as news and things going as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So I want to jump right into it. Guys, quick housekeeping. Don't forget to subscribe to either our YouTube or podcasting services of your choice. If you enjoy the show, make sure you leave a thumbs up on our YouTube or give us a good rating for your podcasting apps. If you don't enjoy the show, if you don't enjoy what you like to see or hear anything, make sure you leave us a comment. Let us know what you don't like or what we can improve on to help so we can help with new members, things like
Yeah.
that. If you want to do the extra
Tell us
little,
how much and
yeah, go ahead.
tell us how much and why we suck.
we can't fix anything if you don't let us know. But if you want to go the extra mile, of course, there is always patreon.com/nerdwide. There's 3 tiers there. You could go in there, toss us a couple bucks, give you a couple little exclusive items in that way. So let's get right into this. I talked last week in our TV section of what I've been watching. It said Black
Hmm.
Lightning just dropped its newest season. I was going to watch it. Did not expect to finish it, but I sure did. So it was very good. They tied up a lot of things. I felt like some things were tied up a little too much. I still don't like Lynn. I have never liked the Lynn character. It did not
Hmm.
change in its eighth and last season. Just letting everyone know, it did not change. Um, so they still written though that if Black Lightning, Thunder, Painkiller, or any of them really, any of the characters wanted to come back for a Flash episode or anything like that, they can. Um, there's nothing crazy that happened. There was a Jennifer Pierce had a recasting halfway through the season. Uh, I don't know what happened, but then the original character, the original actress, came back for the last episode. I, I so what I looked up and found that she just got tired of doing the show, and so they recast somebody. And then I guess halfway through it they said, "Oh, this is gonna be our last season." So she goes, "Okay, I'll come back for the last episode." But she said in one of the interviews that the eighth season was always going to be her last one, regardless. So I guess they were planning for the show to keep going, and then it didn't. So I don't. That was really weird.
So strange.
Like something happened. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but something happened in the show, and I was like, "Are they about to bring out? Did they recast her?" And then it happened, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Sure enough, they did. I wonder if this is permanent. If there's just like a little story arc we're doing, and it was permanent until the last episode. I was like, "Okay, pump the brakes here." So I love Black Lightning. I love Painkiller. They had several episodes in here where Painkiller, you could tell they did that CW thing where they have a full episode of what the spinoff is going to be. And
Hmm.
I was really excited because I love Pain character, the character, and it never
Has,
happened.
has it already been 8 seasons?
It might be 8 or 5. Let me just redouble up here, make sure we're,
Five, five sounds better, but
yeah.
eight, I was like, wow, I missed a lot because I watched the first two.
Okay, 4 seasons.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where I was getting 8 from. I really have no idea where that one came from. Right?
Everything felt twice as long as it actually
Yeah.
was.
Maybe it was. Uh, the 100 had 8 seasons because I just watched all those. Anyways, so and then the other show we hinted at it a couple shows ago. We've actually hinted at this. I started watching CW's Batwoman. Now, going into this had a lot of trepidation. I was like, I'm not a big fan of the Batman character, so I was like, I'm really not going to like this. I hadn't heard the best things about this show. I'm going to be honest with you, everybody. Let's keep it a secret. Bring it in. I am really hooked and enjoying this show like a whole lot, and I think 18 or 19 episodes into the first season of a 20 season show. And so season 2 just stopped filming last weekend of recording. So I'm ready for it to drop on either Netflix or HBO Max, because that's what I'm watching on it now is HBO Max. Because I'm ready. I'm very curious with the casting change and sees what happens. I really, 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 really like Ruby Rose. Like, she is a phenomenal actress. I mean, the whole show is really good, and I think I narrowed down why I liked it so much. It's because it reminds me a lot of Arrow, and like the first couple seasons of Arrow. And
very dark.
yeah, it's not like Superman though either. And that's what I was telling Jamie, my wife. I was like, it's not a dark like Superman and Lois is. It's a dark, but it's got that CW touch.
It's moody.
Yeah.
It's moody.
Oh, like there's like all the characters in it make sense. Like they use everybody's names. The Joker's been a name drop, Scarecrow, Penguin's been like everyone's been name drop, Robin, Batman, and like I mean, of course we haven't seen Batman yet. And I even watched the Crisis episode just to make sure I made sense of everything. And she pairs well with everybody, and I'm very curious to see what this new actress, if she can hold, if she can carry the torch like Ruby Rose is. But then again, I did not expect to enjoy this show as much as I do right now. Like I want to. I think when I get off of this show, I'm going to go watch it, just because I'm hooked, man. It's don't tell work this either, chat. Be cool. But I found myself often than not watching the TV show. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm working. But it's good. I advise everybody to watch it. I think it got renewed for a season 3, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
Let me double check that one. But I know Ruby Rose left.
Are they gonna change?
The change actress isn't good. Is there a Batwoman season 3? Premieres. Oh yeah, October 13th is when it premieres. Okay. So we are. Well, man, that's weird. It just ended. So there's like a 3 or 4 month hiatus there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yes, I advise, like, if you're into the Arrowverse shows, you have to watch this one. And I'm excited to see how, like, I'm telling you, Chris, like the storylines are so intricate and really well written. I mean, it's all the Guggenheim and Jeff Johns and everybody still, but like everything is like, I feel like the main writers from Arrow just started this one, and it feels so good. Like all the animation's good, the acting's really well. There's some scenes that are hit or miss, but I'm telling you, it's an A show. It is not an A-, A+, just an A show. So,
how does it compare, especially in tone, to Gotham?
Ooh, I feel like if you like Gotham, you'll like this one as well. Like there's still that serious tone. There's no Commissioner Gordon, or at least it hasn't been introduced to me yet. They've got this like private security firm that pretty much runs the city called the Crows, which is Kate Kane's dad is who runs it. And so that's a whole storyline. I feel like, again, I'm over halfway done with the first season. I feel like everybody but two of the main characters know that she's Batwoman. And I like that. Like there's no big mystery to it. Like there's not dragging this along like with Felicity Smoke and Arrow. Like it was just so drug out. Like none of that is like one of the main characters. she guesses it at the end of an episode. She starts putting two and two. Like none of these characters are dumb. Like she starts putting two and two together, and she's like, Kate Kane is Batwoman, and then it ends, and then 2 episodes later, she confronts her like right at the beginning of the episode. I was like, yes, absolutely. So it's really good, and I can't wait to watch more of it. And speaking of Superman and Lois, I mean, I don't think either one of us knew it was going on a 2 week hiatus. Sat down to watch the episode, was not a new one on there, and sure enough, they're on a 2 week hiatus. I don't know what the reasoning is of that. I don't think there's anything coming up, or what do you think? It's COVID production related, or
Uh, it could just be CW saying, "Hey, we want to time this finale out
yeah,
with this week and pushing stuff off." I mean, they would have had there been an episode this week. Um, they would have had their finale, what, the week after Loki has its finale, and with that buzz and then the buzz of Black Widow,
oh yeah, you're gonna get stuff
it's
killed.
because that's gonna last. So maybe they're looking to push it out another week or so just to get it away from those things
I mean,
a
I
little
can't. I
bit.
mean,
I don't know.
it makes
That,
sense. I can't blame them. Hopefully, they figure out what's wrong and how they can be more like the Arrowverse shows. I didn't say that. So speaking of Loki, we're going right in to Heroes Cravings, and this is our spoiler-free or spoiler-filled recap, and we're going to talk about everything that happened during the show. I keep forgetting to write my own recap, so we're going to denofgeeks.com for this one. And this is by Kirsten Howard. She writes this recap. We started this episode with a little bit of a backstory. We got to witness Sylvie being snatched by the TVA as a child and eluding her variant pruning by a dispassionate Renslayer. But this scene immediately became a bit of a Loki timeline headache. This wasn't a quick pruning before a Nexus event hit the red line. Sylvie was born a Loki and lived for quite a few years on Asgard before Renslayer and the TVA stepped in. Questions arising from those events are left unanswered in this episode, so we'll have to put them on the back burner for now. We then are snapped back to the present, in quotations, because we don't really know what's going on in the TVA. When the TVA stepped in to haul Loki and Sylvie out of the Lamentus apocalypse, which ultimately led to Mobius and B-15 facilitating their escape from captivity. We suspected this might happen. What we didn't know was how it was going to happen, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. For B-15, so we didn't know how it was going to happen. The answer came in agonizing drips as Mobius and B-15 started to question everything they thought they knew about the TVA and its mission. It was tense, from B-15 taking Sylvie back to Roxcart and experiencing some heartbreaking memories of her true past, to Mobius finally realizing that Renslayer was a lying liar from Lietown. It really did feel like these breakthroughs could get either way because, as we're all very much well aware, Renslayer is anything but stupid. In episode 4, Renslayer did her best to get rid of Loki and Sylvie, but the duo appeared to have formed quite the bond in their brief time together, a bond that Mobius picked up fairly quickly after love first saved the day. So I'm going to put a stop right there. What caused the Red Line Nexus event was them falling in love, right? Like, was them about to kiss?
I think so. I think so, yeah. And that's what I think because it was, I could be wrong, but maybe the fact that you had two variants
Yeah.
of that power that were about to unite, so to speak, uh, it just sent up it just sent up a signal
it's
that caused a branch because I mean, we forget that they are extremely powerful
mm-hmm.
beings, the Lokis.
I
That
mean, they're
like
gods in every sort of
Loki
the name.
tells him at Loki tells him at one point, he's like, "What are you gonna do? Kill me? I've died 1,000 times,"
Right.
and he has.
Yeah.
So
Oh, so we do that. Many of us prefer this to stay as more of a sibling thing. In episode 4, it appears to be laying the groundwork for a romantic connection, at least on Loki's part. Whether this show will continue to advance the romance between them remains to be seen. Elsewhere, Owen Wilson just continued killing it as Mobius. He and Loki's friendship has been such a key emotional anchor in this series, and the thrill of watching Mobius connect the dots and finally try to break out of the box the TVA put him in was cut so awfully short by his sudden death at the end of a pruning stick. That came out of nowhere for me. Like I was did not
Mm,
expect that. I don't know if he's going to come back. I'm sure he is, but because we didn't really get a good buy for him yet. Um,
right.
let's see. Really hope this is a scene. So refuse Loki. Fingers crossed. There'll have to be big surprises. Okay, so they didn't really talk about it so much of it. So they no one's really talking about Lady Sif being in this episode. We knew she was going to be in the
Which
show.
was huge.
Yeah, and I mean, it was very small, but we knew Jamie Alexander was coming back for Lady Sif. We've heard whispers about it at least, and I'm really glad she did. I can't wait to see it. She's going to be in Thor. There is
Right.
no way she's not in Thor. Um,
Well, you had this event. Um, it's actually from Norse mythology. The event that she references over and over as she comes in, because Loki had cut her hair. Um,
such a
and
such a little brother thing
it's
to
it's
do too.
it's it's from a Norse mythology storyline where Sif and Thor are actually married,
Hmm.
and this happens during their marriage. So that's kind of interesting that Marvel would pick that to reference with this loop,
I wonder. I wonder if it's
that
just
they
like a
pick
little.
something that in mythology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he's the next one's all about what's her name from the movie, Jane. So we'll
Hmm.
we'll see, man. It was I really enjoyed seeing. I was not expecting her to come stomping out and just continuously on a loop. And I love Jamie Alexander. Put her in more things. Um,
Yeah.
and then Mobius not believing Loki and then believing Loki that he's a variant because he's looking up everything. And then the ending fight scene was my biggest gripe. The So we've got the three timekeepers standing on the pedestal in a little foggy room. The fight scene seemed slow. The music was off. Like that would have been the time to put some good music in there. Like the Thor at the end of Thor Ragnarok. Like it was just so action packed, and this was an action packed fight, but the music was just kind of mellow, and I was like, I don't get why did we not do a good music choice for this? Um, and then of course we end.
Maybe
Go ahead.
maybe they kept the music kind of muted because they it was tied to the reveal
Right.
that this really wasn't
The
what it looked like.
the big all tell all ending. It was just all a bunch of robots. So uh, Loki and Sylvie got their wish,
Androids.
and but as Loki and them are talking about it, Loki gets pruned. And Sylvie is absolutely pissed off at Renslayer. She beats her up, says, you're going to tell me everything I want to know." And that's how it ended. But no, no, Chris, it did not end there. For those of you who didn't know, there is a mid-credit scene, and if you haven't watched it, stop the video recording now. Welcome back. Okay, so at the mid-credit scene, we see four different Lokis. Loki is in a post-apocalyptic Avengers in New York because you can see the Avengers Tower in the background. We've got boastful Loki. We've got Gator Loki, and there's two other ones, but they're all a kid Loki.
He's
And
60s Loki.
yeah, the that one is because they in the credits they listed them all as their normal
Yeah.
names. Now, where I'm going with this is mainly the reason I'm bringing up Kid Loki is now we have another Young Avengers reference because Kid Loki
Yeah.
is a Young Avenger. So now we've got the WandaVision kids. We've got and Miss Marvel. She's coming up. We've got Falcon and Winter Soldier. It was his nephews. One of them is one of them.
Uh-huh.
And now local, we've got Kid Loki.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and also, there was another tie-in. So Boastful Loki is a reference to the What If storyline.
Mm.
What if Loki, not Thor, had wielded the hammer?
Yeah.
And what's interesting is the that comes from What If issue 47. And when you look back into the episode, when they're standing outside one of the time theaters.
Uh,
It's Time Theater 47.
Shut the front door. I'm telling you, Marvel is not dumb. They know what they're doing.
No, no.
So we don't have
So that
confirmation.
might be one of our what if episodes.
That's true. Oh, they could bring that. Oh, that'd be dope. So we don't really know who is head of the timekeepers yet. Is are we thinking
Mhm.
Renslayer is the top of the top, or do we still have a king waiting for?
No, but I think she knows what's going on.
She's too loyal.
I think, yeah. And she was ready to die.
What?
She told Sophie, kill me. And she's like, no, you're going to answer all my
Right.
questions.
Well, I mean, Mobius gets killed. Loki, for all intents and purposes, gets killed.
Well,
She.
Mobius could be in some
That's true.
post-apocalyptic world too.
Well, and she knows they're all variants. He said, are we all? You knew? And she's like, yeah. And like, oh, the whole episode of was it B20? I think was what her name was.
B-15?
No, not B50, not the one that helped.
Oh,
The one that got pruned.
C-20,
Yeah,
right?
C20.
I think it was C-20.
She like Mobius is like, oh, what happened to her? They said, oh, we had to put her down. She lost her mind and everything. And he saw the video of her like, no, we're all variants. I had a life before this, and you wiped my memory from it. And he sees Renslayer sees it. I mean, it's obvious who our douche canoe of the week is, because I mean, it's obviously the Renslayer because she did it was horrible the whole episode, like horrible.
Yeah.
Ugh, I
I
mean,
tell you what, I think maybe the most emotional scene in the whole thing was B-15 with that line of I was happy
yeah, oh,
when she got access to her memories because she's
yeah,
starting to cry, and this woman is tough, like we've never seen her
y-
like this, and she just I was happy.
yeah.
Boom.
Oh man, it was what a show. I'm excited. So as it sits right now, I think WandaVision probably tops it. So like it goes Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and then Loki. We still have 2 episodes left, but WandaVision just had something special because it was our first series, and everyone
Hmm.
was guessing of what was going to happen, who was going to come in, and just Falcon and Winter Soldier. I love those characters more than I like all these other ones.
Yeah, definitely. Um, Loki could blow us away with the final 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm still curious about the TVA. Like, what are we gonna do? How are they gonna set up? Because you've got What If next.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next series?
Miss
The
Marvel.
next live action series. So that's Ms. Marvel. So that would make sense. We're dropping the other Young Avenger as
Yeah.
you mentioned. And this is gonna be
It's supposed to be Hawkeye after that. So it goes, what if Miss Marvel, Eternals, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man, and then the Hawkeye movie? I mean, the Hawkeye show. Hawkeye show is early next year.
now when do we get She-Hulk?
Oh, I forgot about that one too. I don't know when we get She-Hulk.
I'm just looking like, will they make us wait for the reveal of the
Yeah.
Timekeepers?
Because, I mean, I think the next time we get anything to do with it's going to be Ant-Man.
They'll have to give us some sort of a conclusion,
Well, we
kind
still
of
have
like
the
they did with
multiverse to deal with,
WandaVision.
is our issue.
Yeah.
And I wonder if this ties in with the Loki variants now. If that's a multiverse issue or that's a TVA issue, I don't know. Marvel knows what they're doing though, so they'll
Yeah.
figure it out. And speaking of Loki, put a pin in it. Okay, once we talk about, do I have? I don't know where that one's at. I think it's in movies. Anyways, we'll get there. So let's get right into our TV news. Number one, the Flash original cast members have signed on for season 8. We're going to Deadline.com by Nelly Andriva for this one. Exclusive. The Flash original cast members Jesse L. Martin, Candace Patton, and Danielle Panabaker have closed new deals with series producer Warner Brothers Television to continue on the CW drama in its upcoming 8th season. The trio joins star Grant Gustin, whose current contract already goes through next season. Martin's, Patton's, and Panabaker's contracts are up at the end of season 7. The network has not indicated where season 8 will be the Flash's final chapter. The remaining 2 Flash original cast members, Tom Cavanaugh and Carlos Valdez, are leaving at the end of the current season. So at least we got them for the rest of this one. Do we think this is the last Flash season, though? Or do you think they'll try to go for 10?
May as well go for 10. I mean, it's interesting that they're heading into season 8 for this. And Arrow, which kicked all this off, was what, 7 seasons? That it ended.
I think it ended with 8. See, I don't know why 8 keeps coming ahead all night long tonight. Let me find it here.
I was thinking 7, but it could be 8.
It's 8.
But if it's 7, this shows out. Okay, it's 8. So this, maybe they're doing 8, 8, 8. You know, if it's good enough to last 8 seasons. This is it. At least the last time I looked, The Flash was bringing in the ratings.
Right.
So do you get rid of it after 8 seasons if it's still
chugging along?
I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lot of stories you can do with the Flash. I mean, Flash is a popular character, but they need to, again, they're going to have to pull the fix Flash, Superman and Lois. Anyways, number 2. Powerhouse Animation has signed a first-look deal with Netflix to produce more animated series. Going back to Deadline.com by Nelly Andriva again. Powerhouse Animation Studios, which is behind Netflix's Castlevania franchise and the upcoming Tomb Raider and Skull Island anime series, is formalizing its relationship with the streamer by signing a first-look deal to produce more animated series. Under the pact, Powerhouse Animation will continue to work with Netflix on the new Castlevania series set in the same universe as the original, which recently wrapped its 4th and final season. So, more shows. I mean, it's doing great. So, Netflix and Powerhouse's collaborations also include the Greek mythology-based series Blood of Zeus, Sais Manos, and upcoming Masters of the Universe Revelation with Kevin Smith. So, I mean, they've got a good record with them, and I'm glad that they're still continuing to do that and to bring more content to Netflix instead of putting it on more services that we're going to have to buy. Number 3 and number 4 kind of go hand in hand together. The Last of Us TV series has found Joel's daughter. We're going to Variety.com by Joe Otterson on this one. The Last of Us series at HBO has added Nico Parker in a guest starring role, Variety has confirmed. Parker will appear as Sarah, the daughter of Joel, along with Pascal. Parker joins previously announced cast members Bella Ramsey, Gabriel Luna, and Marley Dandridge. So, if you know anything about the game, she's not going to be in it too terribly long. She's maybe an episode. I don't know how they're going to play it. Which brings us to the last TV news stories here. Speaking of the Last of Us, the show has officially begun filming. I'm going to comicbookresources.com for this one. The Last of Us, Gabriel Luna confirmed that filming on the HBO video game adaptation has officially started. Quote, already love these folks, Luna wrote on Instagram, showing a photo of him in a car with the production crew and co-stars Pedro Pascal and Nico Parker, which of course is the seminal beginning scene of them leaving the house. So I like that they're starting at the beginning.
I wonder if they'll kind of keep her involved, though. Maybe put some flashbacks sprinkled in throughout episodes.
Yeah,
maybe something like that, so that they can continue to bring her back.
I mean, that would be smart, Chris. But then again, I'm not a TV producer or writer or anything like that, so I can't really answer to that. I don't think I did not put this news story in here. I don't know why. Oh, because I was going to put it in on the releases. So July 7th, we have a Loki tie-in show with The Simpsons. Make sure it's a short little special. Make sure you watch that. I don't know why I didn't. Oh, never mind. It's on yours. Ignore it. Scratch everything I said. It's in your new stuff. Releases this week, Wednesday, July 7th, a new season of Riverdale on CW premieres. That's another show I need to catch up on. I really enjoyed the first 2 seasons. I just need to catch up on it. And listen, I'm just a big CW head, guys. I mean, if it's a good show, anything with a dynasty, I pretty much watch on CW. Let's just be honest. Let's kick it over to you, Chris.
I mean, okay. Time for movies. So we obviously we're gonna have our review of the week. Did you watch anything else?
I did not.
You've been binging the TV shows,
Yeah,
so
that's all I've been doing and some video game playing.
right. I happened to catch one. It wasn't planned. Um, it was She Wolf of London, and this was from 1946.
Mm.
It had June Lockhart was the star, and as most people will probably remember her as the mom on the TV show Lassie from the 50s and 60s. But I put it into my letterbox. I gave it 2 stars. It was all right. It's really short. Basically, Lockhart's character is this young girl, young woman, who she keeps waking up noticing that there's mud on her bedroom slippers. There's the hem of her nightgown is wet, and every time she notices this, it's the morning after a reported attack where someone's been mauled by an animal-like creature in the park. So she starts to assume that her family curse is afflicting her, that she's a werewolf.
Hmm.
And so it's if you are a horror fan, if you like the classic Universal monsters, it's a nice little watch just to say you saw it. But
Is she actually a werewolf?
yeah. Well, it's been out for a while, so I'll
Yeah.
go ahead and spoil it. No,
Okay.
she's not.
Okay. Well, you know.
No.
Had to ask.
But all right. So this week we watched film that we've talked about watching before, and it just never came up. Um, I Care a Lot,
I care a lot about you
starring
too, Chris.
Rosamund Pike.
I've been
Yeah,
waiting all
well, the
night to make that
feeling's
joke.
mutual, Tyler.
Wait
Yeah.
all night for that joke.
Uh,
And we are putting the spoilers
this
tag up
was
for
a
this one.
film. This was a film that honestly I didn't know what I was gonna think about it going in because I hadn't heard a ton about it, but I knew the like the general plot. Um, and there was one point toward the end I was really worried that she wasn't gonna get what was coming to her.
Yeah. Oh God, that
You know
was
what I
the
mean? It
whole
looked like
movie. That
she
was.
just kept slipping out of
I
these. But I
know.
gotta say, she does an amazing job in this film. Rosamund Pike does. Great performance. But some of the facial expressions from Peter Dinklage
I know.
just steal the show.
the
Like
the
the
lawyer for
looks
me.
he gives.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the looks he gives in some of those scenes. It's just like even when he's picking out the pastries the first time we
Mm-hmm.
see him, and
Peter Dinklage is
he
one of
just
my
gives
favorite
this look.
actors.
It's like
Dude, he's so good.
yeah, yeah,
It, I loved the
absolutely.
lawyer in this one as well. Chris Messina, who
Mhm,
plays Dean. Like
mhm.
his acting performance was really well done. Like even from the office scene, the court scene, and then him running from the stuff being thrown at him in Peter Dinklage's office was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And he looked real good too. The suits that he kept wearing, because you could tell he was for money. But
yeah.
this
I
movie,
really wish
go ahead.
we'd gotten more with his
Yeah,
character as the movie went on.
I think it'd be fun to have more movies of this, like like a sequel. I doubt that they will make any more of these, uh, but I liked it. It was a lot of fun. So it. Oh, hold on. Oh, excuse me. The the movie, like she's being a guardian for all of these. She's strong arming and corrupting the whole system to be guardians of these rich white people and just stealing all their money and their possessions. Like when she starts off with the main lady, we see what she's all about, Jennifer Peterson. Like she goes
Uh-huh.
in, like we saw her whole process.
Diane Weiss is,
Yeah, I mean, she did
yeah.
great too, and she lives perfect.
That Yeah, phenomenal. But that was the part that kind of got me because you're going through it's not time lapse, but it's this montage of the events, right? Where they're cleaning out the house, they're
Mm-hmm.
inventorying her house because what they do is they drop by with court papers. She's never seen any of these people.
Dude, they
She never
the,
set
the
foot in a
doctors are
courtroom.
corrupt. I
Nothing.
mean, the
Yeah.
person in the nursing home's corrupt. I'm like, what is going on?
So they show up on her doorstep, on Diane Weiss' doorstep. Her name, I think, in the movie is Jennifer
Peterson.
Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they show up on her doorstep to a house that's paid for, by the way, fully paid for, comfortable life. And they're like, hey, we need you to come with us. You're going into this home because you're not able to take care of yourself. And she's like, what are you talking
We've seen like she's going to the community center, swimming classes. She's doing things with friends. She's cleaning. She's making a
about?
pot of tea. I was like, this is hard. This hurts.
And so they get her down there all in a day, right?
Right.
So they help her pack something. They get her checked in. They ask her for her. They kind of trick her. They're like, "Do you have a cell phone? Unlock it. I'll put my number in." And
The
then right
passcode
after
was
she
one
does,
one one
she
one one
hands the
one.
phone to the people at the yeah,
Right.
she hands the phone to the people at work at the home, and she's like, "What?" She's like, "No, for your safety, you shouldn't have that. You can always ask for it later," which you can't
Right.
because as soon as she tries to ask for it later, they jab a needle in her, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's what this is. But you get this montage of them cataloging everything in the house, auctioning it off. They're repainting the house, and all this. And I'm thinking, all right, they're efficient. What have we lost here? Like 2 months to organize? No, it's been 2 weeks.
Right.
2 weeks from them getting her out the door to the time that the cab driver shows up to pick her up. And that's where the story takes off.
Oh, but it was
Because he's not a cab driver.
no.
He's he works for her son that no one knows anything about, which is Peter Dinklage. And because he's a crime boss thought dead, so he tries to stay under the radar. And they can only meet like what, once a
Once
month
a month.
they get to meet.
And I love the way they
And
revealed that.
this guy's yeah, and this guy's supposed to pick her up, and he goes by, and they're in there painting the walls of the house. He's like,
Yeah, they got
"I'm
paint
here for
swatches
Jennifer
and
Peterson," and they're like,
oh.
"Yeah." She's like, "Oh, she doesn't live here anymore." He's like, "Oh,"
It's just like, oh,
and
okay.
and you know something's up because as he's walking away, you know, there's the girl Fran
Mm-hmm.
asks,
Frankie.
"Who called you?" And he just ignores her. You're
Right.
like, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
getting real now." But
Though the way that they did the storyline with them being like ex-Russians, and like she took the name of someone that like died and still like newborn or something like that, and I
mm,
really like when she's sitting at the nursing home, and Marla Grayson comes up and she's like, oh, all this and stuff is happening, and she said, wait, what day is it? And she said, oh, it's the 15th. Oh, she goes, oh, so the 8th was last week. He's coming for you. And I was like, oh, yes, he is. And I was like, she's about to get everything that's coming to her. And then, like, we get to the ending. And again, spoilers tags are full up. If you have not seen this movie or don't care about this movie to see it at all, you can keep listening, or skip ahead a little bit. But it was the like I was waiting so much for her to get what was coming. I was like, then they drive her into the water. I was like, oh, finally. But I was like, no, of course that's too easy. You pump her stomach full of alcohol, put an alcohol bottle on there, and she wakes up, and of course she escapes. Of course she does. She can hold her breath as
There's
long as, a dolphin can. Hell, I don't know.
Aquaman.
Yeah. And so, but then we get to the ending of it, and the ending was what was great for me. I was really thinking she was getting off scotch free from all of this, and
Yeah.
she makes a partnership with Peter Dinklage, Roman Lunyov's plan, and it was smart. She makes this pharmaceutical company, just a whole from the top down. She's in control of all of it. And then the character from the very beginning, the first opening scene, it kills her. And I was like, did not see that coming. And I loved every bit of writing aspect for this whole movie because I was like, surely they're not going to do this. And like you see him, like she's walking down those steps at the news station, and you see his hat because he wears the same hat through the whole show, and you see it in the back of the scene. And I was like, is that? And then sure enough, she turns around and he goes, "Hey, my mom died last week." Bow. I was like, okay. So I loved it. For me,
Well, and
this
yeah,
was a B minus for me.
yeah, I'd put it about there. I think I gave this one 3.5 stars. Uh, but yeah, that was one of my favorite parts of the movie, the way that they bring this guy back because you have, I think, two scenes in the movie with him at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning where he goes off inside the senior
That
home
was so
because he's
funny.
trying to see his mom. And then you get the scene next in the courtroom where they're trying to basically keep him from being able to go back. And so then at the end, yeah, he comes up and he says, "Hey, my mom died, and I couldn't be there with her." And he shoots her.
And that's the
He
judge in this
he
show
shoots.
is infuriating to me. Like he's not guilty. He's just dumb. Well, and gullible
Yeah,
to what Miss Grayson is
yeah,
telling him. Like everything, like even
uh huh,
from the Dean's character, or to Dean Erickson, the lawyer, to this scene, to getting conservatorship from the other doctor and stuff like that. And I was like, how do you not realize this is happening? But I mean, I guess there's a
hmm
lot of other stuff going on in the world with him. So
a little bit. But I one thing I didn't like, and this was one of the things that kind of knocked it down for me just slightly, was the fact that that scene with the car crash.
mm-hmm.
There's no way that she's coming to and she's coherent enough that quickly
No, and that's why
to
she be
both
drunk.
try to stop the car, yeah, and to also get out. Her blood alcohol level, the syringe they filled with vodka was pretty sizable, and they
Right.
fed it through her nose.
Yeah, directly into her stomach.
Yeah. So, it no, it
Yeah,
wouldn't have
it
happened.
was like she wasn't even
Wouldn't have happened
disoriented
at
getting
all.
out of the water or
No.
walking around or anything. So
And the look on the guy's face in the gas station when she
just
stops
the
in.
nothing, just a blank expression the whole time. Just because I'll pay you 50 for a phone, he goes. I was like, dude, what are you doing? He's seen some stuff. That guy has seen some things.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
recommend it though. I
definitely.
recommend
But
this movie.
oh yeah, definitely. Um, Everybody should see it. It's probably going to be some people's cup of tea more than others.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I think I gave it 3.5 on Letterboxd, B minus.
Yeah.
But fun watch. I was gaming a little while I was watching it, and I was
Mm.
like, I couldn't focus on the game because I
Yeah.
kept watching the game.
All right, our next movie obviously is going to be Black Widow. We're going to go watch that and we're going to have our full ratings and review. Chris, it has been 2 years since we have had a Marvel movie. 2 whole years.
Good Lord.
It's nuts. I thought a year was crazy, but we've had Marvel content, but as far as movies, it's been 2 full years now. Mm, 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 mm.
Hmm. So we will move on then to movie news. And up first from Variety, and Antonio Ferrame, I think is how you say it. Ryan Johnson announces Knives Out 2 is starting production in Greece. Detective Benoit Blanc's next investigation has begun, and it looks like he'll be leaving Massachusetts behind for a much sunnier location. Ryan Johnson announced on Twitter Monday morning production on Knives Out 2 has commenced in the warm Mediterranean shores of Greece. And we're off, Johnson wrote. Day one of filming on the next Benoit Blanc mystery. Thanks to all the lovely, patient people here in Greece for letting us do all this murdering on their peaceful shores.
Don't know if that's how I
Um,
would have quoted it.
and just as a reminder, of course, Daniel Craig has been Benoit Blanc, but then he's joined by Dave Bautista, Edward Norton, Janelle Monáe, Katherine Hahn, Leslie Odom Jr., Kate Hudson, Madeline Klein, and Jessica Henwick. This is going to be,
I can't wait. I can't wait for that movie.
yeah, yeah. I still wonder if we'll get like a cameo of somebody from the
Right.
first one. That should be good, though. Something else that should be good is from Collider and Jeff Snyder. An exclusive report from him. Transformers Rise of the Beasts adds Ron Perlman as the voice of Optimus Primal. Um, it says Optimus Primal is the fearless leader of the Maximals. And though Perlman did not voice Primal in the original Beast Wars Transformers series, that was Gary Chalk. He did voice the character in the animated series Transformers Power of the Primes. And for those wondering, yes, Peter Cullen will return to voice Optimus Prime in the character's G1 robot form. And the movie's plot will reveal why this Cybertronian has a connection to Earth and humanity. Um, I'm in.
Yeah.
You put Ron Perlman in something, I want to see it.
I want to watch it.
I want to watch it. All right, let's see. Next up, sorry, this thing's loading. SuperheroHype.com and Jake Abate. Is that right? Do you know?
That's what I'm going
I
with.
don't know. We're going with it. Reports Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom has started filming. And let's see. Arthur Curry is officially on his way back to Atlantis. Earlier today, director James Wan announced Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is now in production. Wan marked the first day of filming on the sequel with a post on Instagram, which was just a picture of the clapboard. And it has a different title. Um, the film's working title is Necros.
Hmm.
They usually give working titles to keep people away so that if someone catches a glimpse of something
Oh.
with the title on it, they don't give away
So you don't have
what's actually
fans
being
all over the
filmed.
place.
Um,
Hmm.
right, yeah. Diehards would still probably know it because it points out DC fans might recognize this as the name of another underwater city introduced in an issue of Aquaman in the 60s. Also called the Black City, Necros could only exist on the material plane for short periods of time, and it never appeared in the same location twice.
Hmm.
The city was also ruled by a tyrant named Mongo, who led his militaristic society to war against Atlantis for its leniency towards surface dwellers. What's he got against surface
Yeah.
dwellers?
What did we do? Just
I'm a
breathe air?
surface
Leave us alone.
dweller. Also, what this is just a quick tidbit. This news has gotten out everywhere. John Wick 4 has started filming this week. Enough said.
Yep. I feel like we're having a theme this
Also,
week of everything
there's
starting to film.
yeah. All these I think, people are like, "Hey, let's get back to work."
Mm-hmm.
From Variety.com's Adam B. Very and Mark Malkin, Black Panther Wakanda Forever production starts in Atlanta. We're going to make Chad proud, is the quote. So, um, this is one of those that we have heard that a representation of Chadwick Boseman will
Hmm.
be in this movie. They're going to use computer technology to have him in there until the character is killed off. So, and we will have a new Black Panther.
Hmm.
Um, right now, the release date is scheduled to be July 8th, 2022. Um,
It's crazy. Just 1 year away.
it's clearly, yeah, it's clearly very emotional without Chad, Feige said before the Black Widow Global Fan event in Los Angeles on Tuesday night. But everyone is also very excited to bring the world of Wakanda back to the public and back to the fans. We're going to do it in a way that would make Chad proud.
And that makes me
So
happy.
that's got to be emotional because
Hmm.
so many of the people that worked on the first one, of course, are going to come back and work on this one, and he's not there,
Yeah.
and that's got to be that's got to be rough.
Mm. Mm.
All right. So Tyler, you put a pin in something a while ago.
Yeah. Let's just take that pin right on out. Just go ahead and pull it
Well,
out.
take that pin out. From Variety and Antonio Federme, Loki and Bart Simpson team up in Marvel's Simpsons crossover short on Disney Plus, and this looks fantastic.
Yes, it does. I can't
Um,
wait. I don't watch much Simpsons, but I'm gonna watch this.
right. Loki has fought the Avengers and the Time Variance Authority, but he now faces his toughest opponent yet, the Simpsons family and Springfield's mightiest heroes. Disney Plus has announced a new Marvel themed short from The Simpsons titled The Good, the Bart, and the Loki,
I love it.
which will premiere on July the 7th alongside the fifth episode of Loki.
So they're dropping the exact same time.
Yeah. After being banished from Asgard once again, Loki will team up with Bart Simpson in a crossover event that pays homage to the Marvel Cinematic Universe's most exemplary heroes and villains. Loki star Tom Hiddleston will lend his voice as the God of Mischief for the animated short, where he will cross paths with many fan favorite characters from The Simpsons. Um, yeah, this is going to be a fun watch. We may as well watch it for next week's show as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a short,
Yeah.
it'd be like what, 8 minutes probably, something like that. But yeah,
Yeah. It's gonna be
it's.
fun.
I did not catch the first one, but they had another one that they mention again here, where they released Maggie Simpson in The Force Awakens from its nap
Oh,
back
I
on
haven't seen that one.
May the 4th. So yeah, looking forward to that. And then here's one from one of our favorite actresses, as well as one of our favorite projects that we've covered here on the show. Variety.com's Mark Malkin. Charlize Theron says Old Guard sequel script is complete, filming to begin early next year.
Oh, bring it on.
Um, it's official. She says the script is done for the sequel to The Old Guard, her Netflix film adaptation of the graphic novel of the same name. Cameras start rolling in the first quarter of 2022. Um, this is it's kind of jarring the next sentence because the way that they throw it out there. But it just says the gay couple played by Marwan Kenzari and Luca Marinelli will be back too. Um, couldn't have just used their
Yeah, I
character
just couldn't
names.
say they're gonna be
I,
back. I mean,
I yeah, I don't know.
to each their own.
She was like, "Oh yeah, they're definitely there." Meanwhile, Vin Diesel tells me he has writers working on a Fast and Furious spinoff for Theron's character Cypher.
Hmm.
Look, can we be done with the Fast and Furious stuff already?
You watch your mouth, Chris.
One
Those
thing the
movies are
Oscar
saints.
no
He said no.
Boondock Saints. Now that's what we need more of, the Boondock Saints.
I thought I had this in there. I must have
One
deleted it.
thing the Oscar winner won't be doing is guest hosting The Bachelor. Speaking of Charlize Theron. You'd think producers of the romance reality shows would have asked Theron, an unabashed and vocal fan of the franchise. They have not, she corrected her Africa Outreach Project benefit. Would she do it? No, she said. I'd make a terrible host. I know my strengths. Um, yeah, so that's the main thing.
Mm.
But yeah, we're going with that. I'm looking forward to that. Um, it was very, very good. The first one, I know we both really loved it,
Mm-hmm.
and it was
That was one of
one
our
of those things where
earlier
as soon as it
shows.
ended, it was one of those where as soon as it ended, I was kind of like, I know this is brand new, but damn it, I really want to see another one. You know,
Okay,
like
I'm gonna send that in
I
to
wish,
Netflix. Here's our official
I
review.
wish that there, it it did. It kind of left me that way, the original, where it was just, I want to see another story with these characters,
Mm-hmm.
and there wasn't one ready. So I'm glad that they're fast tracking um, this just for me. Anyway, uh, once, as you mentioned before, as we've mentioned previously, the upcoming week sees one major new release in filmdom. At cinemas and with Disney Plus, you can watch Black Widow this week,
Finally,
July the 9th.
finally.
I'm just waiting for some Nexus event to cause them to
Stop
push
it.
it back again.
Stop it. We're not.
It's
Don't put that evil upon us. Next topic is, of course, video games. I'm gonna start off with what I've been playing. A
yeah.
game called Scarlet Nexus. It's a anime style game. It's got RPG elements to it. It's a lot of fun. I've got it for my Xbox, and the combat's a lot of fun. You are a Scarlet. I'm not too far into it, so it's hard to kind of describe the game. It's a very anime style game. It's a lot of fun. The RPG elements are there, but
You
I've mainly been playing Destiny 2, so I haven't spent a lot of time into this because there's a summer solstice starts this week in Destiny on Tuesday, which is the big summer event.
mm.
But I'm trying to get a seal done so I can get a hoodie. But anyways, I can't wait. Chris, what you
are
been
you
playing?
a uh, are you a Scarlet Witch?
No, I'm in the Scarlet Nexus, baby.
Scarlet Spider?
The Scarlet. I could do
Um,
this all day.
yeah, yeah, really. Scarlett Johansson. Um, we're just gonna keep rolling with it, right? Not really, no. I'm out of Scarlet's. Miss Scarlet in the library with the candlestick. No. Um, I've been playing some show. Um, my external hard drive for my Xbox S arrived a little bit late, so I wasn't actually downloading games until it got here. So I'm gonna be jumping into it this next week. I've got tomorrow off. I've got Thursday off. So
You're gonna have some
yeah,
fun.
I've only got to work 2 days this week. So yeah, gonna have some fun. I think I'll probably start with the Telltale games
Hmm.
just because it's easy to kind of bust through those and then go from there. But yeah, I actually dipped back into Madden to get the rookie premieres done. I started doing that 3 or so weeks ago. You want to get those done so you can get a good head start next year. And yeah, I've been following a lot of that news too. A
This
lot of the
is
Madden stuff,
this is the
talking
last
about
month without
22.
football.
Yeah, but Madden 22, they've already announced a huge number of changes for franchise. Um, they're going to have it set up so that when you're in a visiting stadium, if the the home team does certain things, it'll trigger crowd advantages
Hmm.
um, to make it harder for the visiting team. So you're going to have, I think they're calling it dynamic game day um, features, and they've overhauled scouting. We're going to get that in September with a patch, and it's it's looking phenomenal. We have coordinators in the game again for franchise and stuff like that. So a lot of changes, man. I think they've stepped it up. and I think it's going to go back to being a top shelf game again.
And we've got, of course, the NCAA announcing this week as well that college players can get money off of likenesses and deals and stuff like that. So that's obviously going to come into the NCAA game that'll be out next year. So hopefully they can put everybody in it and pay the players what they, are owed or do, whatever you want to say it.
Yeah.
But I've also been playing for our first news story here. Xbox Cloud Gaming is now live on Windows 10 and Apple devices across 22 countries. I have tried it out personally. Not much. I would need to get a backbone controller, which you just fits under your cell phones, and you play it there. I've had a lot of latency issues. Like I tried playing Destiny 2 through my phone, like right beside where my router and modem is, and like you could hit up and it would take like a little bit of a millisecond. Like it doesn't feel like you were actually controlling it on time, if that makes any sense. Like if I press up,
Right.
like a half a millisecond later, it looks up or something like that.
Right.
So for right now, it's very much in the beta. I mean, I played it day of and a couple days later. It's but if you have a backbone controller that plugs directly into your phone, I think that's not going to be that big of an issue. I just don't want to spend $100 for it right now. But
No.
once I do, like I could play Destiny in bed, I could play Skyrim in bed, I could do anywhere that I'm connected to Wi-Fi. Like once we go to the movies on Thursday, if I was connected to the Wi-Fi and it's decent enough, I could be sitting there playing games while we're sitting there. But I'm excited about it.
No, you can't.
No, I can't. No, we'll be too excited.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going over to the XboxNews.com for this one by Catherine Gluckstein, Vice President, Head of Product, xCloud Gaming. At Xbox, our mission is simple: bring the joy and community of gaming to everyone on the planet. To achieve that, we aspire to empower everyone to play the games you want with the people you want anywhere you want. We are creating a future that combines the gaming heritage of Xbox and the power of Azure. A future where we bring high fidelity, immersive games to 3 billion players around the world. Now we're taking a big step towards reaching that vision. Starting today, Xbox Cloud Gaming is available to all Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members with the Windows 10 PCs and Apple phones and tablets via browser across 22 countries. She goes on to say, all about what's going on with it. And we're also making significant improvements to the overall experience. Xbox Cloud Gaming is now powered by Xbox Series X hardware. We've been upgrading Microsoft data centers around the globe with the fastest, most powerful Xbox hardware to give you faster load times, improved frame rates, and an experience of a new generation of gaming. To ensure the lowest latency, highest quality experience across the broadest set of devices, we'll be streaming at 1080p and up to 60 frames per second. Going forward, we will continue to innovate and add more features to enhance your cloud gaming experience. I love Xbox's commitment to want to bring games everywhere and to make it the guest in gaming the best it could possibly be. And again, once I get that backbone, I mean, I might buy it with this paycheck coming up, but if I can sit there and play Destiny with Bluetooth speakers in my in my head and in bed, or playing Skyrim in bed and stuff like that, I'm gonna be a new man. I'm just gonna let you know right now. I don't have to be confined to this chair or anything. I can walk around the house like essentially like a switch, And I'm excited about that. So I can't wait for
Chill
things get
out on
better.
the back deck, grilling,
Right. Oh, Chris, don't even get me
playing
started. Sitting
Destiny
here in my
2.
Club Diet Coke hat, just sitting there flipping some burgers, picking my phone back up, killing some Draugr and Skyrim or something. It's gonna be a lot of fun. My next story we've got here is PlayStation acquires Housemarque Studios. We're going to the PlayStationBlog.com for this one. And this is by, if it will load, Herman Holst, head of PlayStation Studios. Today, I am thrilled to welcome a new member to the PlayStation Studios family. I have been a fan of Housemarque since the studio's early days when they introduced Super Stardust HD to PlayStation fans. Housemarque's recent release of Returnal proves the studio is one with incredible vision, capable of creating memorable new games that resonate with our community. This edition enhances the creative force of PlayStation Studios, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for Housemarque. This is from Iliari Kutenheim, co-founder and managing director at Housemarque. Today is a big day for Housemarque, and it has been over 26 years in the making. Our strong partnership with Sony Interactive Entertainment started with Super Stardust HD on PS3, and since then we have made arcade-inspired games for all the PlayStation platforms. With Returnal for PlayStation 5, our most recent release, our biggest foray into third person action gaming solidified our voice and brand in the industry as delivering unique and quality player experiences. They go on to say, their history a little bit more, what it means for fans, and things like that. If you want to read all that, of course, go to PlayStationBlog.com for that big scoop. And speaking on PlayStation, we are going to end the show with this little news bit. Our PlayStation monthly games have been released for July, and we have A Plague Tale: Innocence coming on PlayStation 5, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 for PlayStation 4, and WWE 2K Battlegrounds for PlayStation 4 as well. All free to download. Make sure you always do that. Even if you don't download them, make sure you add them to your library so you don't have to pay for them in the future.
Right.
Notable new releases this week. We've got Plague Tale: Innocence comes to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and Switch July 6th. Watch Dogs Legion's Bloodline DLC for all the consoles come out July 6th. Fallout 76 Steel Rain update comes out for everything on July 7th. And Chris?
Savant.
That is our show. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you rate and review us on whatever platform you are on, whether it's YouTube or any kind of podcasting service. If you don't like what you heard, or if there's something we can improve upon, let us know down in the comments below so we can help. If you don't let us know what it is, we can't help and fix what's going on. As always, if you want to follow us on social media, go to NerdWide. Follow us on NerdWide and at nerd_wide on Twitter. You can follow me personally at Ty_Haynes. Chris at MavTN7. If you like Facebook, you can always go to facebook.com/nerdwide, should be the link, or just search NerdWide in the search bar and you will find us. We have a pretty exciting review coming next week, Chris. Is that correct? Or is it the week after?
Next week.
Next week, okay. And I can't wait for you guys to see that. It's something Chris has been working on for the past couple of weeks. I'm excited to share that all with you. But guys, this has been the NerdWide Podcast. As always, thank you so much for your support. And we cannot wait to see you next week. Have a safe July 4th. And game on.
Later, guys.